The Dark Angels, the first legion of the Adeptus Astartes, are renowned for their honor, skill, and deep-rooted mystery. Founded by the Emperor of Mankind, they are led by the legendary Primarch, Lionel Johnson, whose tactical genius shaped their early victories. Emerging during the Great Crusade, the Dark Angels initially set out to bring the Emperor's light to the galaxy. However, their history is marred by the betrayal of some of their own during the Horus Heresy, who became known as the Fallen. This tragic event haunts the chapter and fuels their relentless quest for redemption. At the heart of the Dark Angels lies the Inner Circle, a secretive assembly of elite warriors who safeguard the chapter's darkest secrets. Only the most loyal members are granted access, bearing the heavy burden of knowledge regarding the Fallen and the true history of the chapter. Renowned for their versatility on the battlefield, the Dark Angels excel in both ranged and close-quarters combat. Their iconic green armor, resembling the forests of Caliban and adorned with black and bone insignia, strikes fear into the hearts of their enemies, representing their legacy of honor and their quest for penance. Today, the Dark Angels stand as unwavering guardians of the Imperium, ready to confront any threat while seeking the redemption of their lost brothers. In the grim darkness of the far future, their legacy of honor and sacrifice continues to unfold. The Second Legion of Space Marines is one of the greatest mysteries in Warhammer 40k. Along with the 11th Legion, they are known as the Lost Legions. All records of their existence have been erased, leaving only whispers and speculation about what really happened. It is said that the Emperor himself ordered this erasure, with only a few like Malcador the Sigillite and certain Primarchs knowing the truth. There are countless theories surrounding their fate. Some believe the Second Legion was destroyed due to heresy, rebellion, or genetic corruption. Others think they may have suffered a calamity so severe that the Emperor wanted to erase them to protect the morale of the Imperium. Hints in the lore, such as the term forgotten and purged, fuel speculation, but the true story remains a mystery. What do you think? What happened to those two legions and their respective Primarchs? Feel free to comment your thoughts, and don't forget to follow. The Emperor's Children, the Third Legion, once stood as paragons of loyalty and martial prowess. Led by the charismatic Fulgrim, they were renowned for their commitment to the ideals of the Emperor: beauty, perfection, and excellence in all things. However, their pursuit of perfection would lead them down a dark path. Tempted by the allure of chaos and the whispers of Slaanesh, they fell into depravity, transforming from noble warriors into hedonistic slayers of their former ideals. Embracing excess and pleasure, the Emperor's Children became infamous for their brutal tactics and grotesque weaponry, wielding noise weapons that embodied their descent into chaos. Their loyalty to the Emperor was shattered, and they now serve the dark gods, seeking to capture souls and indulge in unending pleasures. Once the champions of humanity, the Emperor's Children now represent the tragic cost of ambition and the seductive pull of chaos, forever lost in their pursuit of twisted perfection. Follow me for more Warhammer 40k lore. The Fourth Legion, known as the Iron Warriors, are masters of siege warfare and brutal efficiency. Led by their Primarch, Perturabo, they specialized in building and breaking fortifications during the Emperor's Great Crusade. Despite their vital role, the Iron Warriors felt underappreciated, leading to deep bitterness. Perturabo, a brilliant but cold leader, grew resentful of the constant, thankless tasks his legion faced. This frustration drove them to side with Horus during the heresy, turning their siegecraft against the Imperium. Their rivalry with the Imperial Fists, led by Rogel Dorn, culminated in the devastating Iron Cage incident. In the 41st millennium, the Iron Warriors continue their war against the Imperium, relying on heavy artillery, indestructible fortifications, and their relentless will, forever carrying the burden of their grudges into battle. Follow me for more Warhammer 40k lore. When you think of speed and ferocity on the battlefield, you think of the White Scars, the 5th Legion of the Adeptus Astartes. Under the leadership of Jubal Khan, they continue the legacy of the Great Khan, Jagatai Khan, who vanished into the shadows of history. Born on the harsh steppes of Kagaris, the White Scars are true nomadic warriors. They strike like lightning, employing unmatched hit-and-run tactics that leave their enemies in disarray. Armed with powerful jet bikes and attack bikes, they are the embodiment of swift justice, making them one of the most feared legions in the Imperium. During the Great Crusade, the White Scars were instrumental in expanding the Imperium, feared for their speed and cunning in battle. They perfected the art of mobility, launching rapid assaults that overwhelmed their foes before they even knew what hit them. But it was the Horus Heresy that truly tested their resolve. The White Scars thus continued to fight in Jagatai's name, destroying the enemies of the Emperor in preparation for the day when the Great Khan completes his consummate hunt and returns to once again lead his chosen warriors and begin the next great crusade to unify the galaxy. They are not just a chapter. They are a storm that brings swift retribution to those who threaten the Emperor's domain. The Space Wolves, also known as the Volca Fenrica, are the savage sons of Fenris, renowned for their ferocity and loyalty. Once led by their legendary Primarch, Leman Russ, who vanished on a mysterious quest after the Horus Heresy. They now follow the great wolf Logan Grimner. Unlike other chapters, they don't follow the strict rules of the Codex Astartes. Instead, they embrace their own traditions, focusing on close-quarters combat, lightning assaults, and hunting down their enemies like wolves on the hunt. Their home world Fenris is a deadly icy planet that forges them into battle-hardened fighters from a young age. And the best individuals get picked by the Sky Warriors to undergo the trials of becoming a new Space Marine, with only a few surviving this procedure. But they're more than just brutal fighters. They value honor and brotherhood. Leman Russ himself was a fierce defender of the Emperor, and many say he's destined to return in the Imperium's darkest hour. That's the Space Wolves, ferocious, loyal, and ready to tear their enemies apart while unleashing a blood-curdling howl and having a smile on their face. For Russ and the Allfather. Follow for more Warhammer 40k lore. The Imperial Fists are the Imperium's master fortifiers, unmatched in holding ground and building unbreakable defenses. During the Horus Heresy, they were the Emperor's bulwark, led by their Primarch Rogel Dorn, who fortified Terra itself in the final defense against Horus traitors. Dorn's tactical genius turned the walls of the Imperial Palace into an unassailable fortress, buying precious time for the Emperor. Even after Dorn's mysterious disappearance, the Imperial Fists carried on his unyielding legacy. Now led by chapter masters Gregor Deschen, they continue to build citadels and hold the line in the face of overwhelming odds. Known for their legendary defenses and refusal to retreat, the Imperial Fists remain a wall that will never fall. Their fortress monastery, the Phalanx, a massive spacefaring bastion, is a symbol of their unmatched mastery in defensive warfare, standing as a mobile fortress wherever it's needed in the galaxy. As the defenders of Terra, the Imperial Fists stand unwavering, their bolters ready and their resolve unbreakable. With every enemy they repel, they embody the spirit of the Emperor himself, unyielding, steadfast, and forever vigilant. In the grim darkness of the far future, the Night Lords are masters of terror and ambush. Originally the 8th Legion of the Imperium, they once fought for humanity, but now embrace fear as their greatest weapon. Their tactics are ruthless, swift strikes from the shadows, using shock and awe to dominate their foes. They revel in sowing chaos, leaving only dread in their wake. Raiding worlds with precision, they target civilian populations, demonstrating their might and brutality. Each assault is a calculated act of terror, designed to break the spirit of their enemies. The Night Lords employ fear as an art form, transforming battlefields into nightmares. Haunted by their past, they wander the galaxy in search of vengeance and purpose. In their wake, they leave a trail of despair that echoes through the annals of history. In the universe of Warhammer 40k, the Night Lords are a chilling testament to the power of fear. Their legacy is one of darkness, reminding all that in the face of true terror, even the strongest will tremble. The Blood Angels, revered for their martial prowess and angelic heritage, carry a complex legacy marked by 2 dark curses. It all began with the Red Thirst, a primal hunger for blood that drives them into a frenzy of battle. This thirst embodies their fierce desire for combat and glory, pushing them to seek out the fiercest foes in the name of honor and valor. However, the true horror emerged with the fall of their beloved Primarch, Sanguinius, during the Siege of Terra. His death shattered the Blood Angels and unleashed the Black Rage, a curse that twists their minds and spirits. In their darkest moments, the Blood Angels believe they are Sanguinius himself, reliving his final tragic battle against Horus. The combination of the Red Thirst and the Black Rage creates a cycle of beauty and tragedy. They fight with the grace of angels, yet carry the weight of madness and loss. Despite these afflictions, the Blood Angels remain fiercely loyal to the Emperor and honor the memory of Sanguinius with every battle they fight, embodying both the light of their Primarch and the shadows of their curses. Follow me for more Warhammer 40k lore. The 10th Legion Astartes, the Iron Hands. Known for their unyielding strength and ruthless efficiency, they are the embodiment of resilience. Led by their Primarch Ferrus Manus, the Iron Hands believed that weakness, whether of flesh or mind, was their greatest enemy. But during the Horus Heresy, Ferrus Manus met his tragic end at the hands of his most beloved brother Fulgrim, during the disastrous battle of XVIII. His death shattered the Iron Hands, and they suffered devastating losses in the massacre. But instead of breaking, they hardened. After XVIII, the Iron Hands waged a relentless guerrilla war against the traitors, refusing to give in, even as their allies fell. Without their Primarch, the Iron Hands became even more ruthless, retreating into their belief that the flesh was weak. They replaced their damaged bodies with cold, unyielding bionics, driven by their desire for revenge. With cold, machine-like precision, they struck back, determined to avenge their fallen Primarch and purge the weakness that had led to his death. They may have lost their leader, but the Iron Hands remain, unforgiving, unyielding. For them, the flesh is weak. Only iron endures. Follow me for more Warhammer 40k lore. The 2nd Legion of Space Marines is one of the greatest mysteries in Warhammer 40k. Along with the 11th Legion, they are known as the Lost Legions. all records of their existence have been erased, leaving only whispers and speculation about what really happened. It is said that the Emperor himself ordered this erasure, with only a few like Malcador the Sigillite and certain Primarchs knowing the truth. There are countless theories surrounding their fate. Some believe the Second Legion was destroyed due to heresy, rebellion, or genetic corruption. Others think they may have suffered a calamity so severe that the Emperor wanted to erase them to protect the morale of the Imperium. Hints in the lore, such as the term forgotten and purged, fuel speculation, but the true story remains a mystery. What do you think? What happened to those two legions and their respective Primarchs? Feel free to comment your thoughts, and don't forget to follow. The World Eaters, once noble warriors of the Imperium, became infamous for their brutal descent into madness and bloodlust. Originally known as the Warhounds, they were led by Angron, the 12th Primarch, who was shaped by the horrors of gladiatorial combat and the torment of the butcher's nails. These implants drove them into a frenzy, forcing them to seek violence to escape their constant pain. As they fell deeper into chaos, they adopted the brutal practices of their Primarch, becoming merciless warriors who craved bloodshed. During the Horus Heresy, the World Eaters unleashed their fury upon the galaxy, carving a path of destruction in their wake. They embraced Khorne, the Chaos God of War, solidifying their identity as relentless marauders. Today, they stand as symbols of chaos and brutality, locked in a never-ending battle, driven by rage and the thirst for blood. The World Eaters have become more than a legion. They are a testament to the horrors of war and the price of unchecked fury. Blood for the Blood God, skulls for the Skull Throne. In the grim darkness of the far future, the Ultramarines emerge as the Imperium's foremost defenders. Founded during the Great Crusade, they are led by the legendary Primarch Rabuda Guilliman, a figure synonymous with strategy and honor. The Ultramarines are not just warriors. They are scholars of warfare, embodying the teachings of the Codex Astartes. Their adaptability on the battlefield allows them to face any threat, whether it be the brutal orcs, the malevolent forces of chaos, or the relentless Tyranids. Known for their discipline and tactical ingenuity, the Ultramarines have turned the tide in countless battles. Their famed campaigns are marked by innovative strategies that reflect their deep understanding of both their enemies and the art of war. This flexibility is key to their success and has solidified their status as a premier fighting force. Their legacy shines brightest during the defense of Megarak, where they demonstrated unwavering resolve against overwhelming odds. Each Ultramarine fights not just for survival, but to uphold the Emperor's vision and the future of humanity. In a galaxy where hope is fleeting, the Ultramarines stand as a bastion of strength and resilience. They remind us that through honor, sacrifice, and adaptability, humanity can prevail against the encroaching darkness. Once known as the Emperor's relentless Dusk Raiders, the Death Guard were led by their Primarch, Mortarion, a warrior forged in the toxic mists of Barbarous. Renowned for their endurance, they were unbreakable in battle, until the Horus Heresy, when they joined Horus's rebellion. As they journeyed to the Siege of Terra, they became stranded in the warp, and their own first captain, Typhus, tricked Mortarion, welcoming Nurgle's gifts to escape their torment. Transformed by the Plague God, the Death Guard emerged as twisted Plague Marines, eternally rotting but immune to pain. Now they spread disease and decay across the galaxy from their base on the Plague Planet. Their goal is to gift the galaxy with Nurgle's poxes, believing these afflictions are blessings that bestow eternal life. Imperial forces dread their arrival, as their presence often signals the outbreak of new, devastating plagues that render defenders powerless. With Mortarion's cunning strategies and Typhus's Black Fleet, the Death Guard continue to be a relentless threat, spreading corruption and despair wherever they march. The Thousand Sons, the 15th Legion, were famed for their psychic abilities, with many legionaries relying on sorcery to survive. Led by Magnus the Red, they saw the warp as a tool for understanding and control, one that could elevate humanity. But this dependence came at a price. At the Council of Nicaea, the Emperor banned sorcery, forbidding the Legion from using the powers they relied upon. Though Magnus reluctantly agreed, he soon defied the decree, using forbidden magic to warn the Emperor of Horus' betrayal. But his psychic message shattered the Emperor's secret webway project, a catastrophic act that left Magnus and his Legion branded as traitors. In response, the Emperor dispatched Leman Russ and the Space Wolves to bring Magnus back to Terra. Yet Horus, already consumed by chaos, manipulated Russ, ordering him to wipe out the Thousand Sons entirely. The Space Wolves descended on Prospero, unleashing fire and fury. Desperate and outmatched, the Thousand Sons had no choice but to turn to the very powers they had once sought to control. They drew deeply on the warp, but in doing so, they unknowingly opened themselves to corruption by the Chaos God Tzeentch. With their bodies and minds bound to the warp, their souls became the property of Tzeentch, who twisted them into eternal servitude. The 16th Legion, known as the Luna Wolves, achieved more victories in the Great Crusade than any other legion. Under Horus Lupercal, the Emperor's first found and favorite son, they were feared for their brutal, lightning-fast shock attacks, breaking enemies before they could even mount a defense. When Horus became War Master, the Luna Wolves took his name, becoming the Sons of Horus, a title worn with fierce pride. But that pride paved the way for corruption. Influenced by chaos, Horus led his legion against the Imperium, sparking the Horus heresy. Once humanity's mightiest defenders, the sons of Horus became its greatest threat. At the Siege of Terra, they fought to overthrow the Emperor himself. When Horus was defeated, the sons of Horus were left shattered and leaderless, pursued by imperial retribution across the galaxy. In their desperation, the surviving sons retreated to the Eye of Terror, where they fought amongst themselves for dominance and survival. It was only under Abaddon, the Despoiler, Horus's former first captain, that they found unity once more, reforged as the Black Legion. Abaddon led them in numerous brutal Black Crusades against the Imperium, seeking to reclaim their former power and fulfill Horus's legacy of vengeance. The 17th Legion, known as the Word-Bearers, was unique among the Astartes legions. Led by their Primarch Lorgar Aurelian, they were originally known for their zealous devotion to the Emperor, even worshipping him as a god. This devotion set them apart early in the Great Crusade, as Lorgar's teaching saw the Emperor as a divine being, something the Emperor himself strictly forbade. While other legions pursued conquest, the Word-Bearers aimed to spread this spiritual belief, often building great monuments to the Emperor on the worlds they conquered. But the Emperor's vision for the galaxy didn't include worship. After reprimanding Lorgar, and even ordering the destruction of the city of Monarchia, a model of devotion built by the Word-Bearers, the Emperor shattered Lorgar's beliefs. This event planted the seeds of resentment that would later fester into outright rebellion. Humiliated and disillusioned, Lorgar turned to darker powers, seeking the Chaos Gods as new figures of worship. As the first legion to openly embrace chaos, the Word-Bearers became the architects of the Horus heresy, influencing Horus to betray the Emperor and spreading the taint of chaos throughout the legions. Under Lorgar, they evolved from devoted followers of the Emperor into the fanatical servants of the Dark Gods, paving the way for the galaxy's descent into war. Today, the Word-Bearers stand as relentless crusaders of chaos, determined to see the Imperium brought to its knees, serving as both a cautionary tale of faith turned twisted and the tragic fall of a legion once devoted to unity. The Salamanders are one of the original Loyalist first founding chapters of the Space Marines. Known as the 18th Legion, they served the Imperium during the Great Crusade and the Horus Heresy, where they earned a reputation for their resilience and fierce loyalty. In their early days, they were called the Dragon Warriors, a fitting name for warriors whose spirit and homeworld embody fire itself. Their volcanic death world, Nocturne, is a land of unending trials, racked by constant volcanic eruptions, but rich with rare minerals prized by the Adeptus Mechanicus. Nocturne's brutality has made the Salamanders a legion of endurance and strength, bonded by their close connection to their planet's people. Unlike many other Space Marine chapters, the Salamanders have a deep sense of duty to protect civilian lives, shaped by their unique ties to Nocturne's tribes. When they return from war, it's common for a Salamander to live among the people in one of the 7 sanctuary cities, where they are seen as leaders and protectors. Legend says that Vulcan, discovered by a master craftsman on Nocturne, grew into an extraordinary leader who defended his people against Drukhari raiders. During a festival honoring his victories, he met a mysterious challenger, later revealed to be the Emperor, who saved Vulcan from death during a perilous contest, earning his eternal loyalty and leadership of the 18th Legion. The Salamanders, under Vulcan's leadership, became a symbol of strength, courage, and mastery of the Forge. But the glory of the Great Crusade was short-lived. The War Master Horus betrayed the Emperor, leading to the disastrous drop site massacre at XVIII. Alongside the Iron Hands and Raven Guard, the Salamanders were brutally decimated in an ambush that saw many of their brothers lost. Despite this, they continued to fight as one of the Shattered Legions, though records of their actions are scarce. After the heresy, the Salamanders stood apart as a chapter by their continued connection to Nocturne and their distinct adherence to the Promethean cult, a belief that values self-sacrifice, endurance, and protection of the innocent. Unlike other chapters, they were not split into successor chapters, likely due to the heavy losses suffered at XVIII. Their current chapter structure of 7 overstrength companies reflects their independent spirit and selective adoption of the Codex Astartes. Today, Vulcan's legacy lives on, not only in the deeds of the Salamanders, but through the Tome of Fire, a collection of sacred texts and artifacts he left behind. Within these relics are clues to 9 legendary artifacts. The Salamanders believe that only when all 9 are recovered will Vulcan return to lead his sons once more, guiding them in the Imperium's darkest hour. For 10,000 years, the Salamanders have stood as paragons of resilience, honor, and dedication to humanity, waiting for the day when their Primarch will join them again in the final war against the enemies of mankind. The Raven Guard are among the most feared and enigmatic of the Space Marine chapters, known for their mastery of stealth, infiltration, and deadly precision in combat. Formed as the 19th Legion, their story is one of resilience and transformation, shaped by betrayal and tragedy, but marked by a relentless commitment to the Emperor and the Imperium. From their earliest days, the Raven Guard were known as skilled hunters who favored cunning over brute force, stalking their enemies and striking from the shadows. Their name, inspired by a Terran bird symbolizing fate and death, reflected their role as harbingers of doom to the enemies of mankind. When the Emperor discovered their Primarch, Corvus Corax, on the prison moon Lycaeus, the Legion gained a leader whose expertise in guerrilla tactics would shape their identity. Corax, a shadowy rebel who had freed Lycaeus' oppressed miners, taught the Raven Guard the arts of speed, stealth, and precision. Under his guidance, they fought with unparalleled skill during the Great Crusade, using surprise and tactical strikes to bring entire worlds to compliance without the need for large-scale battles. The Raven Guard faced their darkest hour during the Horus Heresy. Sent as part of the first wave on XVIII, they were betrayed by fellow legions loyal to Horus at the Drop Site Massacre. The Raven Guard, alongside the Salamanders and Iron Hands, were decimated, losing tens of thousands of warriors in a single battle. Forced to retreat to their homeworld, Deliverance, Corax sought a way to save his shattered legion. Using forbidden genetic sciences, he accelerated the creation of new Astartes, but the process led to horrific mutations, resulting in monstrous, unstable warriors who could not be allowed to live. The Raven Guard speak of this time only in whispers, bearing the psychological scars of their near extinction and the price of survival. Following the heresy, Corax, weighed down by guilt, disappeared into the Eye of Terror, leaving his warriors to continue his legacy. Rebuilding under the Codex Astartes, the Raven Guard became a chapter known for covert warfare, deploying in small, elite units to destabilize enemies and eliminate high-value targets before fading back into the shadows. From their fortress monastery, the Raven Spire, on Deliverance, they trained to master ambush tactics and close-quarters combat, embodying the silent and deadly precision of their Primarch. Today, under Chapter Master Kayvon Shrike, the Raven Guard continues to serve as a potent force within the Imperium. Known as the Master of Shadows, Shrike has honed their focus on precise assaults, taking down key targets with brutal efficiency. Raven Guard warriors are cold and calculating, skilled in infiltration, and fearsome in close combat, often wielding lightning claws and other specialized weapons. Though they mourn the loss of Corax, they carry his legacy, striking terror into the Imperium's enemies as they wage war in the shadows, disappearing as quickly as they came. As the galaxy faces new threats, the Raven Guard remain resolute, embracing the darkness to protect humanity. They carry on Corax's spirit of resilience and cunning, proving that even in the bleakest of times, they are relentless hunters, ready to deliver the Emperor's wrath from the shadows. The Alpha Legion, veiled in layers of secrecy and deception, stands as the greatest enigma of the traitor legions, a force whose loyalty, motives, and very existence blur the line between truth and illusion. They were the last of the legions Astartes to be united with their Primarch, and yet in those brief years before the heresy, they crafted a legacy that haunts the Imperium to this day. Despite their apparent betrayal, whispers endure that the Alpha Legion's true purpose remains unfathomable, that their supposed allegiance to chaos might be a masterstroke in a game only they understand. The fate of Alfarius, or perhaps Omegon, is shrouded in mystery. Guilliman himself believed he had slain Alfarius on Escrador, only to see the Alpha Legion resurge with relentless precision, carrying out counterstrikes and complex stratagems that defied annihilation. Like the Hydra whose image they bear, every blow struck against them seemed to spawn two more heads. Each time the Imperium, or even chaos itself, believes they have cornered the Alpha Legion, the Legion reappears elsewhere, more elusive and dangerous than before. For millennia, Imperial scholars, the Inquisition, and even other chaos forces have tried to decode the true intentions of the 20th Legion. Some speculate that the Alpha Legion's turn to Horus was not one of true allegiance, but rather a deliberate choice to manipulate both sides of the heresy, creating a path toward an outcome only they could foresee. They move across the galaxy like phantoms, leaving behind hints of their presence. Misdirection so deep that even the Ordo Malleus cannot determine if their actions serve the Emperor's will, their own self-interests, or an unknown design. Legends tell that every battle the Alpha Legion fights is but a single piece in a larger, incomprehensible puzzle. They thrive on secrecy and misdirection, using cultists, mortal agents, and even loyalist factions as unwitting pawns in schemes that stretch across systems and centuries. Their actions twist perception, causing even the Imperium's staunchest defenders to question whether they are fighting loyalists or traitors, truth or illusion. And with each engagement, they leave behind only questions, an echo of their motto, Hydra Dominatus. To the Imperium, the Alpha Legion is a poison that festers from within, a force that has fractured the certainty of even the most disciplined warriors. With their unparalleled expertise in covert operations, psychological manipulation, and subversion, they have proven to be a constant thorn in the side of the galaxy, embodying the ultimate paradox, a traitor legion whose goals might not align with those of chaos itself. In the end, the Alpha Legion remains the most compelling mystery of the traitor legions. Perhaps their ultimate victory lies in this very ambiguity, an endless shadow over the Imperium, a presence that lingers in the darkest corners of the galaxy, forever whispering to humanity's deepest fears. It is a mystery the Imperium may never solve, and perhaps one they should never dare to fully understand.